Good morning, good morning, everyone. Actually, no, it's noon, so it's good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. And as you know, those that have followed me for Mosaic Sparks, you know that every Monday it's Magical Monday. But today we're going live. We have a guest in audience studio, and we're going to be talking about some exciting things. And as you can see, the title. Why color outside the lines? Yesterday, I went live on Facebook and I believe it was Instagram. And the question that I asked is, when is the last time you picked up a coloring book? When is the last time you picked up any crayons, any coloring pencils, right? Those questions were intentional, as we're going to be talking about today. So today, I am so honored. I have a good friend that is here with me. She's from Colorado. So, it's noon here. So, she got up early just so that she can be here with us. So we are so excited. So I am going to bring to the stage none other than Diva Darling Moore. So I'm going to bring her to the stage right now, and then we're going to get into some good conversation. Good morning, Diva. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Leslie. How are you? I'm so
Well,
happy to be here this morning.
I'm so excited about this conversation as we're going to get into and we're going to talk about coloring outside the lines. So, as we get started, I want you to just give the people, because the people can only take a little bit, because you got a vast. So if you can give the people a little summary of who this incredible woman is.
Bless you. Thank you for that, your kind words. My name is Diva Moore. Diva does stand for divine inspiration, victorious attitude. For me, it's not a cliche. It is actually a mindset and the way I live my life. I hold a master's degree in human relations and organizational development. I'm a career coach and a career correction specialist. I also am a team collaboration expert. Today, I'm here to talk about the executive secret weapon, especially for us women of color, and that is using coloring to revolutionize your stress management. There's science behind it, and I'm so happy to talk about it with you today, Leslie. I have been involved in this hobby/therapy for about 4 years, and I've got all the tools to prove it behind me. And I'm just so happy to lend an everyday voice for someone who doesn't have a creative background, who doesn't have a degree in fine arts or a YouTube channel focused on coloring, but to really talk about why the everyday average middle management executive needs to pick up some pencils and a coloring book.
There were some words that you mentioned, some key words. You mentioned executive, mentioned stress management, you mentioned average, and then you mentioned middle managers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so let me just speak for myself. When I think of coloring books or coloring, I think of fun, right? But then with all these different terms, when you get to be in the professional realm, you want to try and separate yourself from this coloring. And what you just kind of laid out and gave us a foundation for is that the coloring is really the foundation for all these things for us to rise. And especially, as you mentioned, for Black women, right? And we're going to get into that. For Black women, how important that is, especially in the workplace, because as you know, as you've been in many of these settings, as you know, as Black women, we have to do things not twice, not three times, probably four times as much than anyone else. That's just the nature of the game. And let me just put a little caveat for that, right? For those of my non-Black audience that may be watching, you may ask the question, well, why is it you may feel that you have to do things so much more than anyone else? That is something that we are taught. That is something that is in our household. That is something that we are taught from the time that we are children. So we grow up with that. And imagine now we're going to the workplace and we see certain things. And we may want to climb that, whatever that ladder is, or we may want to grab that carrot that they're dangling in front of us, right? And we're going back to hearing our aunts our moms, our grandmothers, and just people in the community. Remember, you have to do things and show up differently.
You
So I
have
just wanted to set that backdrop as to, if no one has ever explained that before, that's where that's coming from. So you could survey Black women from any state, any socioeconomic um, um, diversity, and they will all basically tell you the same thing. So that was our Black backdrop. So
but you're right. And just to be fair, what we're about to talk about would apply to any woman, any American woman who works, who maintains a family, who doesn't maintain a family, who's just living an American life. But today, yes, we are going to somewhat focus on women of color, and specifically Black women, because that is a subculture within this new genre of adult coloring that is really blown up, and the reason why I'm here.
absolutely. So I'm gonna jump into a question and ask you, what do you think happens in our minds when we actually give ourselves color as adults? Because as I mentioned, when I think of coloring, I think of fun. But at the same time, when you think of fun, you think of, you are a professional, and somehow these two things, they don't really meet, right? And so what we're going to talk about today is kind of how those things really actually meet without us even thinking about it. So if you want to just elaborate about that.
I would, yes. And yes, coloring is fun. A lot of us haven't picked up any type of art since we left probably middle school, and if we were lucky, high school. But the fact of the matter is that coloring is art therapy. And I'm going to throw some numbers and some facts out at you. It's actually a scientifically backed form of art therapy that's really been capturing the attention of mental health professionals as well as neuroscientists. And the reason why is because it's been proven, Leslie, that just 20 minutes of adult coloring can lower your cortisol levels by about 75% and put you into a state what's called the relaxation response. It's a state where your sympathetic nervous system downshifts, and it allows your parasympathetic nervous system to restore and rejuvenate. You can do this with your eyes open, right? So also, just to keep going into the science of it, and I did take some notes. So if it looks like I'm reading, girl, I'm almost 60. I am. Let's talk about what it does to your prefrontal cortex. It activates it and enhances your executive function and decision-making capabilities. Think of it like this. Every day we go into work and we're using our left brain, our analytical brain. But when you activate any type of art therapy, coloring, painting, molding clay, making jewelry, you're actually turning on the other side of your brain, the right brain. And the right brain is responsible for creativity, but it balances that analytical side that we all have to walk out the door with. So yes, it does help you with executive function. It helps reduce the mental chatter that keeps high achievers like us awake at night. Let me tell you something. If you're like me and at 2:30 in the morning, you wake up wondering what you're going to do with your calendar for the day, get up, grab 5 pencils and a book, and within 20, 30 minutes, you're ready to go back to bed. And you think about the problem a lot better when you wake up refreshed in the morning. Again, we'll talk about the bilateral brain stimulation. Right brain and left brain are activated when you're coloring. Art therapy. So you're able to improve your communication between logical and critical thinking centers. Lots of folks say that they write better or they play their music better after they've had a coloring session or two. Also, the dopamine release. And this is what got me. A lot of us who are content creators spend a lot of time on social media, and that's always a big dopamine hit. Well, how do you get that without a screen? We forgot how we got it when we were kids, and that's by coloring. So yeah, grab those pencils, Miss Executive, pull those Prismacolors on out of that love book laptop bag, and spend 20 minutes during your lunch getting your scribble on and watch your productivity increase. She's taking notes. I love it.
I'm taking so many notes here in terms of, of how much this art therapy it is so necessary, right? And it's something just so simple, and we actually lose that art as we become adults. Here's what I love what you talked about is that mental chatter. And a lot of us have it. Up, raise my hand. Yes, definitely. I do have that. But I love what you said about in the middle of the night, when you get these things in the middle of the night, grab some pages, do some coloring, and that's going to decrease, and you will now be able to sleep better.
Lots of us who have reached some pinnacle of success in our career, we've done that by juggling various different things. And a lot of times that means that we're either staying up late or getting up early so that we have quiet time to ourselves.
Yes.
If you're like myself, if you're a Gen Xer, we were taught that when you get up those crazy hours or you're up those, don't just sit there and watch television, grab your laptop.
Absolutely.
Bang out some work. And I'm saying in the 2020s, don't do that. I'm saying that when you get up, your laptop is going to be there. The work is going to be there. But first of all, jumping on the blue light has already been proven to activate your brain to want dopamine because it sees the blue light that comes from a screen. So instead of doing that, you really want to go back to sleep and you want to be productive and effective in the morning. Instead of opening your laptop or even grabbing your phone, grab 5 pencils, grab a page, sit down, keep the lights low, and start coloring. Let your mind and whatever woke you up just come through the pencils. Now, when we say coloring, if you've been watching YouTube and TikTok, you see these girls with these beautiful artworks. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just sitting down, making something that looks good to you, a masterpiece to you. Even if you throw it away, girl, nobody cares. It's yours. It's your masterpiece. It's colors that look good to you. And of course, as you practice, you'll get better, but we're not even talking about that. We're talking about just releasing the stress that's built up in your brain, lowering your cortisol levels, which is what woke you up in the first place, lowering those so you can get back to sleep and you can be productive the next day. And for those of us who are in leadership, the demands of leadership, when you add that to family and personal growth, that's nothing but a perfect storm for chronic stress. And you still have the same 24 hours in a day. You can take a coloring book with you in your laptop bag anywhere.
So good. So good. Grab.
And I never get on a plane without pencils.
Oh.
Never.
Oh,
there are too many books. I specifically purchased a 24 set of Prismacolors that I only use to travel with because I'm bougie and I like my Prismas. I have 12 little books that I rotate in and out. And when I travel, and I cruise, I never cruise without taking a full art component. I'm talking about 2 or 3 full-size books, a couple little ones, 120 pencils, 72 markers, 36 gel pens,
wow,
a pencil sharpener. Yeah, that's what I took on my last cruise.
Wow.
Yeah. And did color.
You laid out a whole kit. My God.
Yeah.
So you said large and then small. Do you have any samples of what a small coloring book
if I can get up on camera, I sure do.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, hold on.
Because I don't think I've ever seen a small coloring book.
So I have several that I have here. So for small, we're going to get into who and what, how to pick what to color a little bit.
Yes.
But I have been doing this for almost 4 years, as I said. So I have so many books because, like a lot of us, I was buying stuff to see what I liked. I'm a big fan of Joanna Basford. This is Small Victories. Some people find these challenging because they're kind of small and
Okay.
detailed.
Okay.
But what Joanna Basford's coloring has taught me is to slow down and stop trying to finish things in one sitting.
Ooh, that's good.
Okay. And this
Mm,
is her small book. She has several. I'm going to be moving about.
that's
So
fine.
this is the size of one of her normal size books. This is Magical Jungle. Joanna Basford is worldwide, worldwide, worldwide. And no, she is not of color. She is Australian, I believe. However, she is called the Queen of Coloring, and she really helped to revolutionize adult coloring for women all over the world. I cannot
Wow.
speak enough on her. This is not a paid advertisement. The woman does not know me, but she doesn't. She doesn't. But I mean, look at this artwork, and
Wow,
you
that's,
can
I love
Google her.
butterflies. Ooh, I
You
love
can
that.
Google her, and on YouTube, you will find all of these creators, both experienced artists as well as brand new for beginners, coloring her work. And
Wow.
again, because some of them are so detailed,
Yeah.
for someone who's like me, who's always on the go, 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 not being able to finish a page in one sitting at first was extremely irritating to me until I realized that that's the point. Slow
Oh.
down. I I often don't I get bored with projects. I get bored with projects, and so because I can't see the whole finished picture, I want to walk away from it. And what coloring has taught me in 4 years, art therapy, is that that is not helping me at all. And just because I can't see the whole finished picture doesn't mean it's being completed. Slow down, walk away, take a break, come back. Maybe it takes 5 or 6 days to finish one page, but it's beautiful at the end of it.
Wow.
Another small book that I'm big on, another author. Again, this is not a woman of color, but again, worldwide, is Hannah Lynn. Hannah Lynn does the Whimsy Girls, and she has 5 or 6 of these pocket-sized ones. Now, in this book, I have some completed ones. Let me see if I can. Okay, so girls who run the world, girls, and
That's so beautiful.
a lot of the things that I do on
Oh,
at the
that's
airport.
beautiful. Oh my God.
A lot of the things I do at the airport. So these little small books that you can tuck away. And before, let me do one more, Leslie. Let me do
Oh
one.
no, of course.
Hold on, because it wouldn't be right. Because this is a podcast for women of color, and I just got to shout out our girl Coco Michelle. I don't know her either, but she know my name. So she has. I have her books in both sizes. If she has it in the small size, I have it in the big size too. But girl Coco Michelle said, I love the color, and she's an actual artist, graphic artist. But she said, I'm tired of coloring things and people that don't represent me. And I can't be the only one. Girl, she came out with a line of books. And look
God, that's gorgeous.
at what she's doing. You
That's
can also,
beautiful.
her YouTube channel, and she actually teaches you how to use markers in her books. YouTube taught me about the different types of paper, how different types of paper work with different mediums, whether it's water-based markers, alcohol-based markers, acrylic markers,
Wow.
whether we're using soft lead pencils, hard lead pencils, glitter pens. It's there's a whole world out there, and the great thing about art is there's nothing wrong. There's no wrong way to do it because art is always in the eye of the beholder. It's subjective. So in getting into this hobby, yes, I did spend a little much as I tried to figure out what it is that I wanted to do. I kind of settled on pencils, alcohol, and water-based markers with glitter pen accents. But there's so much out there. If you like flowers, if you like cozy coloring, we've got our girl Naya Nicole. Hold on, Naya Nicole does, because lots of people love the cozy coloring. which looks really simple, but I'm here to tell you it's not. Naya Nicole is a young sister who just started out in the business, and her work is definitely geared toward the African American experience and what it is to be a Black woman out here in these streets. And she does, the cozy coloring. You can find her books on Amazon and TikTok, but I suggest that you go directly to her website so you can get these deluxe versions, girl, because we bougie like that and we supporting sisters.
Wow.
I can keep
we definitely gonna be giving the people. You mentioned cozy coloring. What is cozy coloring?
Okay, so cozy coloring is and it's really a style of coloring, and I want to show you that. So this is Naya's book, Girl Time Brunch and Besties, right? Like we're doing right now. So see how simple the lines are. There's no shading in there, right? Big lines, white, big spaces, nothing too intricate. That's cozy coloring because, if you just did it flat coloring, it would still look good and you still get the same benefit out of it. And what do I mean by flat coloring? Let me show you her cover. So on her cover, she has gone in and you might leave the dress just red, but she came back in and put some white dots in there.
Okay.
Right. The hair, you might have just done that brown. She came in and added some highlights.
Okay.
Cozy coloring is just cozy. It's not trying to do too much or be too much. It's just really big. It's almost childish.
Okay.
In its presentation.
Okay.
Until you try it and realize it's a little harder than it looks.
Okay.
But again, just like in art class in school, you didn't, when you first came into kindergarten, you scribbled and you colored outside the lines and everything. And someone had to guide you and to teach you to what felt good in your hand and in your mind and look good on paper to you. It's the same thing with adult coloring. I love Joanna Basford. I bought a Joanna Basford coloring book for a good friend of mine. She hated it. She loved coloring. She hated all the intricacies. She hated it. And here's the fun part. She's a CPA. She did not want the detail. She deals in detail every day. So the second book I got her was cozy coloring. This is her all day.
Love that. And here's what you just did for me. Obviously, I have not delved into the world of coloring. I just thought that it was always those intricate lines like the one that you showed before, until when you showed this with the cozy coloring, and now you see a difference. And I'm glad you gave us that example of your friend that doesn't like the intricate details versus the cozy coloring, because I'm thinking that I think the cozy coloring is what I'm inspired to try. Yeah.
It is very, very popular right now. It's a great way to come into coloring. And I want to make sure that your viewers know that there's no right way, no wrong way, no too much, no too little. Move at your own pace. But UCLA Stress Research Institute said that within 3 weeks of consistent coloring practice, your cortisol levels will drop by an average of 68%.
What?
I told you I was bringing numbers for you. That's why I didn't want to. This is why I didn't want to type it out on Facebook, because we'd have gotten to a big typing war. I said, let's just do this. Yes. 68%. And what they did in the study was the key was consistent practice. So let me tell you how I coach that.
Okay.
I coach this. Excuse me. I coach this on an individual level and on a team level. On an individual level, I coach 20 minutes 3 times a week. I'm a grandma, and I have a hard time with my 3 times a week. And I throw in one of my off days where I get a whole 4 hours in, right? Um, Time, we all get the same time. So, but if you can sit down quietly for 20 minutes a day, whether it's at work, at school, on the bus, um, and do that consistently, yes, because the right side of your brain is the side responsible for lowering cortisol levels. Once you establish that practice, notice I said practice and not habit. Once you develop that practice, yes, when you pick up those pencils, your cortisol levels will drop. You'll feel it. I know that even just getting ready for this interview today, this is my off day, which is why I'm all scarfed up. Getting ready for this interview today, grabbing the different books as I've been doing. I am like, I don't know if you've noticed, I've been slumping because I'm ready to relax. I'm ready. This is my coloring time when we get off. I'm going to be coloring for about 4 hours today. And you start looking forward to it the same way you look forward to a massage. You do. It's a massage for your brain.
Wow. I love that because I just had my massage on Friday. And I
I'm
don't,
not telling you to give up your massage,
oh
girl.
no, I was about to say I do my massage once a month and my girl is so good. Like and I actually do it on a day off so that
Mhm.
after the massage, I don't want to do anything else but just come home and go to sleep.
Yes.
Yes. So you just put those two things together, and girl, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Oh my gosh, a massage for the brain.
It
Mm-mm-mm.
is. So establish your ritual. And I have a husband. So
He must be saying, "I can't hear it. I can't hear it." So
you can't hear him? Okay. Okay.
I
Um,
hear. I just hear noise. I can't hear. What he's saying.
um, one of the things though that I really, when I started introducing this into my career coaching, and let me briefly talk about that. So in my career coaching, um, within the first or second session, I start talking about the stress of looking for a new job or the stress of changing careers. And my prescription is literally, I send my clients a book from Amazon. Go get your own pencils, but I'll send you the first. Excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry. And I asked them to do that so that they can start establishing the habit. And usually the next session we have, they say, I wanted to color, but my kids wouldn't let me. I wanted to color, but my spouse wouldn't let me. And my question is, if they're kids, why aren't they coloring with you? That's right. And if it's your spouse, why aren't they coloring with you? Excuse me. Forgive me. Coloring is something that everyone can do. Everyone. Now, I'm a grandma. And so after about 6 months of me coloring and hiding it, I sat down with my grandson, who was 7 at the time, and said, come here, Michael, grandma's going to color with you. Now, I had obviously an adult book. He's looking at that like, that's not coloring, grandma. But in that half an hour that we sat and colored together, there was some bonding going on, just like when we braid our daughter's hair. So, this can be a calming and relaxing practice for your family as well. So when you're coming back and you're coming home, you've made dinner, you want to sit down, the kids are still bugging you, tell everybody, listen, go get your chalk, go get your crayons, go get your pencils. It's family coloring time. Sit down, turn off the television, 20 minutes. You'll find that your kids' homework is done a lot better as well too, actually. And there's studies behind that, but that's not what we're talking about today.
Wow. My gosh. I've learned so much so far, and so excited that this practice that I don't think I know none of them don't think I know because I have not colored since consistently since I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
And recently I've picked up maybe 2 pages and colored 2 pages. But here's the other thing that I like, and this is just a quote that you said, is that what coloring showed you is that you don't have to finish in one setting.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for me, I'm guilty of that, right? Because I coloring is simple. It is simple. Is that the word I want to use? Simple, but not easy. Yeah, that's what I want
Yeah,
to use.
it's simple but
It's
not easy.
simple, but it's not easy. And the reason why is over the years, I've gotten coloring books. But guess what? Because I thought it was so simple, I walked away from them because I expected, well, Leslie, you just can't finish one page of this coloring book. So you explaining that it's not made to be that way. It is made for this to be a process. And for us that feel that we need to get everything done right the first time, this time, whatever, to really and truly back off and give ourselves some grace and really enjoy the visual of the process. I like to talk about the process because everything is a process.
Well, let's talk
But
about the process.
yeah, but actually for me, as we're talking more and more about this, the coloring, even just one coloring page, gives you a visual representation of a process, right? So in any process, it's over a period of time, it's over whatever. And here's this coloring page that no, you ain't sit down one time and you ain't gonna do this thing just one time and ain't gonna come out all this, whatever. It's over time. So yeah, let's talk about that process.
Well,
Let's talk
the way I like to think of it like this: it took Michelangelo years to complete
Mm,
the Sistine Chapel's ceiling.
ooh, my
Who are
gosh.
you with your little Derwent pencils and your little book from Amazon? Honey, this is what I had to tell Diva. I ain't talking to
Ooh,
y'all. This is what I had to
ooh,
tell Diva because Diva is a perfectionist. Okay,
mm,
and I had to
mm.
tell myself that I am not Michelangelo. That if I put the book down, the world will not end. If I don't complete a page, the world will not end. If I buy a book, only color one page out of it because I only liked one page and I put the book away, the world will not end. There is nothing in coloring, nothing in art at all that says that it needs to be completed in one sitting. And all of the masterpieces that we all know and love are the results of processes that took weeks, months, years. You will learn that with coloring. You will learn your own pace. You will find out things about yourself. Like I said, for me, the coloring page literally opened up to me that I hate long projects. I hate them. I hate them. And I get on everybody's nerves because I hate them. And so once I started coloring for me, like I said, I love Joanna Basford because of the detail, because I hate detail in my life, in my professional life. Because of what I do case management right now for the unhomed, and a lot of work. A lot of it is not the details. A lot of it is, fill these holes. So when I come home, yeah, I want to spend time filling in the holes. I want to, make sure that the shading is correct in the little nooks and crannies. But that turns me on, but it would drive someone else crazy, right? It's relaxing to me. Likewise, I stopped buying certain types of books because I wanted to see myself represented in those books. When there's people in the books, I want the people to look like me. I did not, I don't, now how do I put this, Leslie? When I'm taking care of my self-care, I don't want to be constantly bombarded with images of other. And it's not just, oh, it's a woman, color it any skin tone you want. I want to see the cultural. I want to see the things that are culturally ours, quite frankly. Yes, most women go to the beauty salon, but a Black beauty salon girl is a lot different than go. And I know
it's an experience.
It's a different experience. Just like going into a Black barbershop. All barbershops, men go in and they congregate, but a Black barbershop is going to be different than a white man's barbershop. And it is culture that we've applied color names to, right? But that's why it's so important to support our young artists like Coco Michelle, like my little niecey poo, Naya Nicole, who always, I swear she makes my book special for me. She always puts little special things in them for me. Hi, Auntie. I just love her. I love gifting coloring books. And lately I've been gifting coloring book calendars so they can be practical. So there's an idea for you for your next publishing. Like I said, I'm not trying to make any money today, but there's something you can do. A coloring calendar, a Christ-centered coloring calendar. Go ahead, take that and run with it.
Wow, honey. I'm writing that down. I'm writing that down.
Run with it. I want mine free.
Yeah, most definitely.
But you know, I do that because it's function and form. When I give to my friends, I give them a coloring book that is not just a coloring book. It's either a coloring book and a journal. I've given coloring book Bibles away. TikTok is Amazon is your friend, girl. It's better than Google. It really is. And it's a national, new international version Bible that is a coloring book, an actual Bible.
Wow.
But I give calendars, especially this time of year, because folks can start their New Year's habit or practice early. Every day is a new year.
Yes.
So, you know, you could be an established colorist by the new year if you were to start your practice right now. And that's what I say to people when I hand them their books. Most of my friends have gotten coloring books from me in the last year because I think that it's better than any drug right now that we have on the market. And I'm saying this as a recovering alcoholic. I'm saying that this is affordable, accessible to everyone, and available to anybody who can pick up even just a regular number 2 lead pencil and go in and shade. Everybody can color. Everybody can go to Family Dollar or the Dollar Tree and get the 10 crayons for $1.50. You know, I love getting up. Something I did recently to prove to one of my colleagues that you don't have to spend a whole bunch of money to do it. This isn't even the right one. This is a book that came 2 in a pack with $6.99 on Amazon. It's nothing but mandalas. Okay. But, you know, for a train trip, a plane, you know, riding in the back seat somewhere, simple. And that last one I just showed you, that this would be considered almost cozy coloring too, because it's big and bold. You know, it's accessible to you don't have to have a collection, which is going to lead me now into my next topic.
Go ahead, sister. Give it to us.
I know that your viewers have been watching TikTok and YouTube and hearing the discussion about overconsumption. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a capitalist to my little heart. So yes, I have overconsumed. But here's what I'm going to say to that. And I literally told my husband this, and I stand on it. When the lights go out, I got something to do. I am never to be bored. They do not go to waste. I've given coloring books away to people who have been in the hospital. family, they bring you plants, they bring you flowers, they bring you candy, they might even bring you food, but they don't bring you anything to do with your time. I bring coloring books and pencils. I say to explore your artistic preferences. And if you're worried about spending too much, then form a group. And by a group, I mean a group of people, because coloring you can do online together, but get your friends involved. Share your tools, share your markers and your coloring catalogs because they don't go to waste. They just don't go to waste. If things get as bad in this country, if people say, coloring is a way to, escape in a way that even for people who are functionally illiterate, who can't read to transport themselves, can drop into a coloring book and find some mental relief there as well.
You just gave so many great tips, right? I am such a student right now.
You're making me very happy.
Oh yeah, this is rich context for me, and I hope that my prayer is my viewers really will take the time to really pay attention to this information. You mentioned about being in a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Firsthand, I could tell you what that's like, right? So last time I was in the hospital was last year. And when you are in the hospital, your loved ones, they do come to visit. But remember, they're not there 24/7.
Exactly.
And there's times that you're left there by yourself. That's one. Two, I have a friend of mine that just lost her husband. And you lose someone, what are you doing with your time? I just spoke to her today and she said, I asked her how the kids, and she said they're good. They're still going to work to keep themselves busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you just talk about that. So how, and then the other thing, I live here in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
where we have those wonderful hurricanes.
Yes, that's why I don't live there anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly why I don't live there anymore.
These wonderful hurricanes. And the most time, I know that's not proper grammar for all the grammar police out there, that I spent without electricity was 3 weeks, and that was back in I believe it was 02, where we had Francis and no 05.
05 was Francis and Jean.
Francis
3 whole
and,
weeks, girl. I was in Palm Beach County, girl. Yes,
so
right.
you know what I'm talking about.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Actually, it was 25 days.
There you go. Yep, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
So those three examples, and I want to say that with those 3 examples, yes, we're in Florida, we experience hurricanes, but there's other parts of the country where people experience different things. There's either we are going to be in the hospital, or we have a loved one that's in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
We have someone close to us that will experience death. How we're still human beings. How are we filling up that time? And as you said, to kind of decompress, right? And the other thing was someone that cannot read. Someone that cannot read, what can transport them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't have to be able to read to know colors and to be creative and to now see this thing come alive for yourself. So these were such incredible tips that once again, it's simple, right? But it's not easy. And it's so simple that let me speak for myself, as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
as a professional, as a founder of a company, CEO of a company, all of that, really and truly didn't look at coloring as a gift. What an incredible gift. So what you shared with me today, and I just want to thank you again, is one, how I can gift this to others. Because people may be going through things and they may not share. And I want to come back to you, that you were coloring for a certain period of time and didn't want to share it, right? And it's because of that perception of us being these professional people, what we doing coloring? And I'm going to equate that a little bit to because it's things that we've done in childhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for years, my family and anyone that's super close to me always knew that I took naps. I've
Mm-hmm.
been taking naps for 20, probably 25 years. I was in no one outside of outside my family, no one knew. Only within the last 4 or 5 years, I would say it out loud
Mm-hmm.
because, started seeing this stuff on social media. And only then I would actually verbalize it. Why? Because I was ashamed to tell people that I took naps. And so I could see coloring as the same thing because the first thing people are going to say, ain't you grown? You grown. Like what does grown have to do with getting more sleep, knowing when to rest your body, and also now adding in coloring to reduce all these other things? And actually, I'm gonna take this a step further, Diva.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to you and the gift that it can give you. You know what's the gift?
What's the gift?
Gift of presence.
What it is, it's I call adult coloring permission to slow down without guilt.
Mm, 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 mm.
It is a socially acceptable form of self-care that actually doubles for us as professional development. I have never sat in an airport. I've never sat in DIA, Denver International, with my Prismas out and my my little snacks and whatnot, and I'm sitting there waiting on my flight, and I've got my little Hannah Lynn or my little Coco Michelle, sitting there coloring, and I've had more people walk up to me and say, "Wow, that's beautiful," or "Wow, what a great idea," or "Wow." I've never had anyone to come up to me and say, "Wow, don't you feel childish?" First of all, because you probably look at my face and know you might not want to do that, but I'm just saying. But you know, I think that women particularly recognize almost immediately when they see another woman coloring, it flashes back. All of us colored Barbies, all of us colored, Gen X anyway. Our coloring books had Gem and Barbie, and we colored the little fashions. So it awakens something in us, but it is professional development. Um, Art therapy improves your decision making abilities. It strengthens your resilience because your consistent practice builds your tolerance for stress and uncertainty, and all of this while being creative. Um, Coloring is where creativity meets strategy.
Mm,
Oh, let's talk about that for a minute.
love
Coloring
that.
is where creativity meets strategy. And for our high achievers who are so wound up with the go, 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 the strategizing for coloring, the creative strategizing can help you in your everyday life. What do I mean by that? Let me give you a quick example. Really quick, really quick. Um, okay. Um, Color schemes. Really quickly, you realize that I'm putting colors together. I don't know if they go together. And you may see these color
Mm,
blocks behind me.
mhm.
That's Sarah Renee Clark's Color Companion and Color Catalog, which actually feature like you pick one color and it shows you four others that go with it so that you have a more cohesive picture. But their strategy, and any trained and educated artist will tell you their strategy to color theory. So, what strokes do I use? What pens do I use? What pencils? Do I want to do this in pastels? Am I doing bolds or neons? That type of strategizing creatively does carry over into your professional life. And that's why it's considered professional development. In fact, more and more Fortune 500 companies are starting to introduce coloring into their EAPs as we're moving into 2026.
That's huge, huge. And I'm gonna use the phrase: the way we do one thing is the way we do everything.
It's the truth. Now,
Right.
and to back you up on that, I'm a closet, not a closet at almost 60. Everybody knows I'm a procrastinator. So I'm a procrastinator who meets every deadline, but I will wait. It's like I calculate in my brain what's the absolute last moment I can get it done with quality. That's when I'm going to start, right? So in my coloring, literally, I stress myself out all day, getting everything ready, making sure that nobody's going to bother me, cook, clean, do whatever I'm going to do so that when I can sit down, and then at the end of my coloring session, when my alarm goes off, I'm mad because I could have been coloring for 6 hours, but I procrastinated.
But here's the thing I'm gonna say to that, but at least you've gotten it in.
Yeah. But that took time. That I'm talking about before the 50 books, before the close to 400 pencils I'll have over there, before the close to 400 markers I have back there. Before all of that, there was a 24 set of Prismacolor pencils and one book. This was the first book I bought, Small Victories. That was it. And I literally carried it in my purse probably for about 3 months because it did intimidate me.
Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, honey. Diva will talk.
Yeah,
Diva is a strong personality who doesn't like to be intimidated by anybody. And the fact that this little book by this little Australian woman who is Joanna Basford, that she can intimidate me, but yet it sat in my bag, and I pulled it out on the flight and told myself, I even still have it here, I marked it, told myself I only have to do one picture. I only have to do one. So I only did one. Right? It's nothing to write home to mom about. Nobody's given me the Nobel Prize in art theory, but there's 6 on this page.
Okay.
And this took me 40 minutes.
Wow.
Right? Again, going back to that whole, do I need to complete something in one sitting? Joanna Basford, as an artist, recognized that in teaching art, and she makes her books, even the big books, with pages with small, you can almost time yourself. I don't have to do this whole page. I don't even have to do this whole design. But if I've got 40 minutes, I can sit down. Let me show you some detail in that there.
Oh, they're very detailed. I can see that they're very detailed.
Right? But all you need are 3 to 5 colors. I pull out all 400 pencils, and my husband starts laughing because then I work with 5. Right? Maybe 7 or 8 because some things in nature, leaves are always green, right? So
yeah.
But you only work with a few. You don't need to be Michelangelo to get the benefits of the art therapy. Let's talk about the therapy part.
Yes, absolutely.
What I told you on Facebook and what really solidified that I would put money into this was about 6 or 7 months in, I mentioned to my mom that I colored. My mom had suffered a series of mental breakdowns when I was very young, 6, 7 years old. And she overcame those things. Her story is a testament to the glory of God and the power of faith. But what she told me, I never knew even as a kid, was that when she was hospitalized in the mental institution, they had started her on art therapy, and my mom never stopped coloring. I am going on 60 years old. And my mom still colors to this day. And she said, darling, I color when I'm stressed. I'm color when I'm depressed. And even though my mom is still legally blind, she says, I can see the color. And the being able to slow down with my thoughts has always been something that has helped me in the long run. She did it when she went for her ministry degree. She did it when she went for her nursing degree. My mom's now approaching 80 and she can barely see, and she still colors. She still colors. She says, as long as I can see the color on the page, I don't care about the lines. I just want to get it down. The fact that art therapy has been a recognized therapy by the American Psychiatric Association for more than 50 years really should say something to you as a Black woman who may or may not be able to afford therapy or find a Black therapist. Right at your fingertips, right at your Family Dollar, right at your Walmart is a really quick and accessible form of therapy, whether you are a mid-level executive or you're a custodian. Honey, we are not respecter of titles over here. So it doesn't matter. If you want to enhance your emotional intelligence and to increase your emotional resilience, coloring is something that is accessible to everyone in America, no matter how old or young they are.
I want to acknowledge that we have some viewers. I haven't been able to acknowledge any of our viewers. So thank you. Thank you for those that are joining us. We are on about 3 different platforms. We're on Instagram, Facebook,
Oh,
YouTube, and we're on 2 different
I thought
Facebook.
it was just me and you, child. That's why I've been running, zipping around the office. Lord have mercy. I'm sorry, y'all. This is why nobody take me nowhere. This is why nobody take me nowhere. Okay.
So for those that are viewing in, thank you for tapping in, and for those that are going to watch the replay, please let us know by putting hashtag replay that
And
you
don't
will
blame
watch.
Leslie because her guests ain't got no couth.
She's something else. And because we would love to hear your comments. You know something, Diva, what you just shared just a while ago made me think of 2 things. It made me think about in the Black community, in our community, we don't necessarily like to talk about therapy and therapy in going to see a therapist. More and more, it's getting a little bit better. But even if we even go back some years, that's not something that we speak about. And what I have enjoyed in this session is how you are aligning. And thank you so much for sharing your mother's story. That I don't
Well,
want
she ain't
to.
gonna appreciate it, but thank you. You're welcome. She's not gonna appreciate it at all.
Because
It's,
I think
it's
that's
okay.
huge.
She's old
Right?
now. She can't beat me.
I think that in itself is huge, and also to the fact that she all she wants to be able to see is the colors, right? And for her, as her testament as to how the colors has helped her. So I want to thank you for that. And what that has done is to show everyone, and as you said, it could be a janitor. We don't care who you are. We are all human beings, and because we are beings, we go through different things in life. And before Diva and I came on live, we were talking about traumas in the background, right? So we all experience whatever those traumas are. But for the coloring book, this can really help you with your mental health. And more now, we are talking about mental health as we've come out of COVID. But in some societies, still, that's we still have a ways to go. But here is, if you don't have the finances for a traditional therapist, if you haven't really wrapped your mind around why do I need a therapist, there's so many different things that go along with that. She said, Family Dollar, dollar store, grab yourself. And I'm here looking. It's so interesting, right? I don't know if you could see this.
What's that? Ooh.
So this
Ooh.
is this is a book that I grabbed. It was a free book that I grabbed over a year ago. And I'm just looking at it now. I'm not, when you don't even pay attention, I gravitated towards a book because it was a journal that had coloring pages in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I write on one side. And as you can see, I ain't touched nothing with the color, right?
Can I give
But,
you, may I interrupt you and give you a
oh,
tip real quick?
please.
So the reason that's like that, get this.
Tell me.
Color for 15 minutes and then journal. Color
Ooh.
on the page before it and then write you will find your journal. And I'm a journaler. Your journaling will take a whole different, girl. It's, how you're also a writer. So how you do free form writing.
Mm-hmm.
Coloring is free form writing in color. Oh, that was good. I got to write that down myself. Hold on.
Wow.
Because that's what it is. And again, ladies and gentlemen who are watching this, I do not have an art background. I've given birth to an artist, but I have no art. I'm a Libra. Appreciation of beauty and excellence, but I have no artistic training or anything. I am not a psychiatrist. I am an organizational psychologist, like I said, but all of these things you can Google, you can find all these things out. You can go down the rabbit hole. Again, I'm here so that you can see an ordinary, well, I don't know how ordinary I am.
No, honey, you're not ordinary. Ain't nothing about you ordinary.
There's nothing basic about me. You can
No.
see an ordinary sister just saying to you that first, if you don't want anyone to know that you're coloring, then don't tell them.
Good point.
Because this is something that you can do in your house. That it's just like what brand of toilet paper you use, baby. You ain't got to tell nobody.
True.
But I think that we as women, and particularly we as African American women, sometimes forget to look for the simple way to get to solve a problem, as opposed to looking for the accepted way.
Yeah.
Right. When I first started coloring, I also had just started therapy, and I went into therapy thinking that, I'm probably going to need to be medicated for my anxiety. It's through the roof. I don't want to start drinking again, but I don't, so maybe if they give me some Ativan. I've never been prescribed that because I started coloring. I started coloring for stress relief. I started making it a thing to color for stress relief. And when it became something, a little bit of a joke in my family, and I got offended about it, because I got up in my feelings, and you will too. Yeah, I'm coloring. But instead of taking it to a level where it caused more stress, I went and bought a 72 set of pencils for my grandson and said, come on, boy, come over here so grandma don't look stupid while she's coloring. And now, wow, he has an impressive collection of pencils and markers. And when he comes to grandma's house, he brings them,
Nice.
because he feels like if he comes into grandma's office and I'm sitting there and I don't have coloring books and I'm, typing, he'll turn around and go back out to his table. But if I'm coloring, he's going to sit down. He knows that's creativity time. We're going to sit down. We may or may not talk, but we were talking about journaling. I don't even know why I went off on that. But
no, you could.
But it's really a opener for your family, for yourself. And it's a great way to teach your children emotional regulation as well.
Emotional regulation is so needed, right? Because, not to go off on a tangent in the state that I live in, but emotional regulation is so important because, we forget that. Let me just switch real quick. So I was watching this thing on TikTok earlier today, and the gentleman talked about the coffee spilled effect. Never heard it before, didn't get a chance to go look it up, but I like the premise. What he was saying is the way you spill coffee and the way you react to spilled coffee teaches him a lot about you. And all that is emotion regulation, right? So if you spill coffee and it's, oh my God, da, 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 all this other thing, it's like the end of the world because you spilled some coffee. Or it's, oh, okay, I just spilled some coffee.
Make some
So
more.
those two examples is emotional regulation, right? And how many of us we may be fully grown, but we haven't regulated our nervous system, right? Because that's really what it is. It's regulating your nervous system. So thank you for sharing that. I want to go back, and I know for me, I don't know what prism is, and I might have some viewers that don't know what prism is. So please tell us, what is prism, because I hear you talking about prism pencil.
Prisma, the
Prisma.
Prismacolors. So Prisma, Prisma colors. Prismacolor is a brand of pencil that it is very mid-grade. It is suitable. First of all, I had to learn that there are grades of pencils.
Mm.
Now we're getting into, now I've been coloring for a while, and I'm getting into it. So there are grades of pencils. No, there are no such thing really as bad pencils, but when you start investing in better books, and by better books I mean better papered books, you will see all of my books are bound and spiral bound. I do that for a reason. I have a thing about cardstock and heavier weight paper. I don't like Amazon paper. I am a published author, as you know, as you are, and that paper for my books, I don't want to color on that. It tears your tools up. As you start getting into, I want to invest a little bit into this hobby slash therapy that I'm doing, you may find that you start looking at different brands. So TikTok is real big on Ahoo markers. The bottom line is it's a brand. They're a nice brand, but they're not the only brand. So yes, I have my Ahoo's sitting right up here. In fact, I have two because I've got those. Those are water based, and then I think those ones over there are alcohol based. But I also have cheaper brands as well, and I tend to use the cheaper brands first to make sure I know what colors I'm laying out and everything, and then I'll come in with my more expensive ones. But you don't have to be bougie about it. You don't have to spend a lot of expense. Prismacolor is my chosen preference. That's what my budget can handle every so often. But the second thing I want to leave your viewers with, Leslie, is don't get caught up in the social media aspect of coloring. I've got to have this because it's on TikTok, and I've got to do these pages because she was doing them on YouTube. That is a whole different part of stress that was never supposed to be a part of this. And at the end of the day, you're doing this for yourself. Now, if you end up being Michelangelo in the closet, great. Show us your work, but don't feel that you need to spend a whole lot of money for this habit. But you might find that you want to, like with any hobby that someone starts. I mean, when people first start running and biking, they don't go out and buy $200 track shoes. Only after they've been running and walking for a while will they spend that kind of money. And that's that. I just want to remind my sisters that, like all things, moderation, and remember your budget, because you can overconsume very easily. But the great thing about these tools, not paint, but a great thing about coloring, is that these tools, with the exception of markers that can dry up, will last you for as long as they need to last. I'm still using the same 150 count Prismacolor set that I got 2 years ago. and I haven't ordered any replacements yet. And I color 3 times a week.
3 times a week.
Mhm.
So question, and I love what you just said, because this is really a practice that has nothing to do with comparison, has nothing to do with chasing anything. It is a practice for your healing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It is a
And
practice.
yeah, it's a practice for your healing. And I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask, is there a color that, as you mentioned, you took out all these colors and you gravitated towards 3? For me, I'm just thinking about, for me, what would be 3 colors that I would gravitate to? And one of my favorite colors is yellow, right? But then I know that if I pull out something and I would start to color in yellow, my first thing would be, oh my goodness, like this yellow is too light, because on the page it may not show up too much. So for me, my go-to colors would be like yellow, orange. Ooh,
Cats.
what is that?
Again, these are not paid endorsements, okay? They're not. I just have a lot of stuff, Leslie. You've known me for years. You know how I do. You know how I do. You know I'm a
Yes,
hoarder and a collector. So there it
yes.
is. So Sarah Renee Clark, another not woman of color, but an absolute fantastic artist. About 10 years ago, came up with the color cube. This is color cube 2. Let me show you what it does. You see all of this. So what it actually is a series of cards, and you can go to her site. Go ahead and Google Sarah Renee Clark, and let me show you kind of, I don't want to lose my spot, but suppose I wanted to use that color, right? So I could go online to her color companion and say, show me everything that matches yellow. And these cards are numbered, right? So it'll say, hey, if you want to use, I'm sorry, I've got stuff in my hand here. If you want to use this color, these are colors that go well with them. And then you turn around on the back and it'll give you the color codes. So even if you're using Canva or any other digital art, if you do digital coloring, because that's the thing we can talk about in a moment, it'll give you the color code so that and the gradients, so that you keep your pictures coherent. And as you see, they're numbered, so they're easy to go to. I have both sets. She's coming out with a new set very, very soon. She does swatches so that you can put down your favorite ones. If you have favorite color coordination that you like. You see how fast I'm going, ladies and gentlemen? Coloring helps Diva slow down.
I love it. Oh my God.
So, I mean, the point that I'm making with this, though, is that the tools are out there. And I bring the tools out. I was so happy when you agreed to do this show, Les, because I am bougie and I am middle class. And sometimes that comes off as me trying to put myself above people, and I'm not. But we are talking to a Black woman who has achieved a certain amount of success. And usually with that success comes a certain amount of disposable income. I'm not downing nobody. That's why I keep bringing up Family Dollar and the dollar store. But if you got a credit card and you're ready to spend a little bit on your hobby, you might want to invest in things for your craft, because while this is therapy, this is also a craft. You will get better at it with practice. Just like you get better at, when you were a teenager, you couldn't cook. After 20 years, you can cook. It's the same thing. So if it really takes off with you, invest in your therapy. And that's how I look at it. And that's how, when my husband says, what are you buying now? I'm investing in my therapy. What do you want to do? You want to spend $1,200 a month for me to spend $300 a week at the therapist? Or would you rather I spend $65, $80 a month on 2 new books, a color cube, and maybe a set of pencils. I don't know how you're feeling about that, player, but I'm a happier camper, and you got your coins in your pocket. I don't know.
Right.
I know that my actual therapist uses art therapy. And when I told her last year, when I finally confessed to her that I colored, not only was she happy, but now in our weekly sessions, she brings up, are you coloring? And when I have 2 or 3 weeks in a row where I haven't colored, she'll tell me. It's a prescription. I don't care what you do. By the time I see you next week, I need you to have sat down for 2 hours with a book somewhere, because she can see, my family can see the difference. I'm not going to try to gaslight anybody into saying, oh, it's better than a glass of wine. No, it's not. It's not better than a glass of wine. It's not. I'm not going to lie to you. But if you're like me and you're a recovering alcoholic, it's better than a glass of wine. It will be better with a glass of wine if you're not a recovering alcoholic. But the thing that we all want to do when we're looking for stress relief, we say stress relief, the body says lower my cortisol. What is a way to do that doesn't cost a whole bunch of money, that I don't have to tell the whole world that I'm stressed out, that I can do in 15, 20, 30 minutes a day? Coloring is absolutely it.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay. Make sure. Okay.
I'm just running my mouth.
Hey.
I get when I get passionate.
Hey, I love it. And I know that the audience
pulled out half the library.
I absolutely love it. I know we're talking about women, Black women, professionals. Do you feel, or I know you've been doing a lot of research, do you see that it will help men as well? I'm just curious.
Wow.
I'm just curious about that part.
Okay, Vita, I'm very sorry, honey. Your book wouldn't stay up. Since you brought it up, yes, actually, art therapy does not know gender. Okay, if you were to talk to either someone who was a master level art theory or who was a clinical professional, they're going to tell you the same thing. Art doesn't have a gender, just like it doesn't have an age. However, that being said, since we're talking to people of color, I wanted my grandson, as he approached middle school, to still feel comfortable with his art. So I started looking for books that represented him, that actually showed him that, you know, he is worthy to be on the page as well.
Oh, those are gorgeous.
Okay. And I had one. Okay, these are all kings, all our young kings.
Wow.
Okay. And I had one that was meant, I gave that one away recently as a present.
Those are gorgeous. My God.
For representation.
Yes.
And my reason, excuse me, is not just for the representation, but also, again, the emotional resilience and being able to emotionally regulate. My grandson is autistic. So any parent or anybody who works with someone on the spectrum will tell you that art therapy is something that they've discovered really works well with people on the spectrum. Just because they're on the spectrum and you may not be, doesn't mean it won't work for you. But because it did work for him, the same thing applies. I want him to feel represented. I don't want him to always be feeling like he needs to draw Johnny with the blonde hair. Johnny with the blonde hair is nothing wrong with Johnny, but Johnny don't live in our house. In our house, the kids look like this. you know? So this is a second book that I have. He has one of these. I think that we should encourage our young kings to, I probably wouldn't say color to them. Code switching is a thing, even with, the other gender. I probably wouldn't say coloring. Once they get to a certain age, for a Black man, I'd probably say, let's get into some creative sketching, some color,
Mm,
let's do some couples coloring.
mm,
Okay, you watch football, I'm gonna sit over here and color. Or, babe, we're going to brunch, we're gonna sit here at brunch. Here's your book, here's my book, let's sit and color and talk. Anything that can be done free form therapy, talk therapy, free form writing. Soon as you add a coloring book and a pencil to it, you release, people don't even believe it. It releases this side of the brain and it all comes out. So you're sitting there with your spouse and he's doing a mandala because he thinks you're crazy and he's not coloring nobody's jacket, and you've got your whimsy girl and you getting down, and all of a sudden now you're talking about deep subjects that you could not approach him about. Because even though he's still in his analytical male brain, his creative side is opened up and he might be able to hear you a little bit more. You never know. I don't know. I'm just saying. You might want to get some couples therapists on here to talk about that.
mm.
Yeah. But just remember, it's not just a trend. It's not just, the thing of the moment. Art therapy has been around for over 100 years and accepted as therapy by the American Psychiatric Association for more than 40.
That should be enough for everyone, right?
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Diva, I can't thank you enough for this conversation, and I think we're going to need to have a part two.
I'd be happy.
Yeah, we would need a part two for this, because I think this is just so rich, and I hope we get some comments, and then we could come back and kind of answer some of those things. But my hope from this conversation is, if there's anyone out there that have been coloring, and maybe coloring in secret, and if you don't want to put it on Facebook, DM me. Send me a message, send Diva a message, because
right.
we would love to know, and we would love to support you. And as you can tell, as Diva has been doing this for 4 years, she's really deep into this, right? And so yeah, DM Diva, let us know, so we're here to support you. I said to Diva early, I'm thinking about doing a coloring book, and after this conversation, definitely we'll be coming up with the coloring book.
Because I can even send you some things, girl. I could make a coloring book right now if I would just sit down and do it.
Wow. Yeah, I have learned so much. I've learned so much from this conversation, and I can't thank you enough.
I want to leave one more tip.
I was going to ask you, what would you want to leave?
What are the next steps? How would I get started? 2 ways I'd like to suggest. The first is the social way. If you're a person who, I want to do it, I want my girls to do it too, bite the bullet, get 3 to 5 $5 books and some cheap pencils, some little Crayola pencils, not crayons, pencils. And the next time you and your girls get together for drinks or for coffee or for tea, my girls get together for tea, I bring the books and the color. And while we're having tea, we're coloring. You are going to be surprised by how many women stick with it. Secondly, if you are a person who travels, put a book in your bag. All of us I don't hate to sit at the airport, but all of us hate to sit at the airport and just have nothing to do. And it's hard to read with everyone walking around. And yeah, you can have your earphone. Coloring. So just start just like with any other practice, just get started and don't worry about what anyone has to say about it. Remember, this is for your self-care, for your mental health and your professional development. You are building your emotional intelligence, you're building your emotional resilience, and you are actually activating your right brain to lower your cortisol levels.
Wow. Those will be one's next steps. We talked about a lot. We talked about strategy. We talked about creativity. We gave stats. The mental chatter that I absolutely love. And you were able to bring
Excuse
us
me.
home and give us some next steps. As we get ready to wrap up, and for those that are watching, we will have a part two probably within the next few weeks. We'll come back and have a part two as we're moving into the holiday season, because I do think that that's
It would be
important.
an excellent holiday show.
Yeah, yeah.
Because in this political climate, as people are saying, do I want to participate in the holidays? I'm saying that even if you go to Etsy and buy cheap digital pages to download and print, I have 16 digital coloring books, honey.
Wow.
Just in case. So
Wow.
even if you do that and put together your own books for a personal, thoughtful touch, this year of the Black woman resting, yes, coloring should be something that we talk about, that we're giving for the holidays. And we have lots of Black artists out there. You see, I have quite a few of them behind me that we can support. And Les, I would love to get on that bandwagon.
Hey, you gave me a great idea. We will have a holiday show. That's definitely, we'll come up with a date, and
Yes,
we'll definitely have a holiday show.
I'm there for it.
I love that. Thank you so much. As
I'm
we
looking forward to that Christ-centered calendar too.
I got it. Yes, and yeah, we have to talk about that, because I love me a calendar. I for years.
A cozy Christ-centered coloring book.
My God, I love me a calendar. So when you brought that up, I was like, damn, that's an incredible idea. I love that. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that on the back end. But as we get ready to wrap up, what are maybe two things that we have not touched on that you can leave with our viewers? I know there's so much you have, but what are two things that maybe you could leave with them? And you gave some steps, but I'd also be intrigued as to how could really and truly as to influence them to start like today.
A lot of bad habits start in the dark. Smoking, drinking, a lot of our addictions, which addictions are nothing but bad habits, really, with a physical component. Uh, a lot of our habits start in secret. And so, girlfriend, I would encourage you to do something for yourself that's positive in secret, and not invest your paycheck. But if you can't invest $5 and then another 15 for pencils, if you can invest $20 into yourself for your self-care, what is more important to you that you couldn't invest that $20? Because that $20 today is not just the coloring you're going to do today, but that's therapy for a month. And there's no health insurance in our United States of America that's going to give you that kind of payback. There are lots of reasons why you shouldn't color. Well, I can't really think of there may be reasons why you shouldn't color, but I really can't think of any, because it's something you can literally do everywhere. The second reason is, if you're trying to limit your screen time, it's very hard to color and screen at the same time. So if you're trying to give yourself an hour off of your phone, fill that hour with coloring. Um, yes, prayer and all the other stuff, but devote an hour of your week. It's see the results. I'm having a day.
You got some water? Okay.
Oh,
I love what you said. There's a lot of bad habits start in the dark. That was a gem right there.
they
Um,
do. They start in the dark, but
they
there's no
do.
reason why we can't start a good habit in the dark too. So,
Absolutely.
and I say that so that if there is shame to it, if you're sitting there looking at me and Leslie saying, that's cute, girlfriend, for you in your
Right.
nice little office, but I
Right.
can't be running around my neighborhood with no coloring book. What I'm
Right.
gonna tell you is everybody's not in your house. Everybody don't know how you wash your boo-boo. And so I keep things real. So, everybody don't know what color washcloths you got in your bathroom, boo boo. So, this is something you can do. And even if you never told another soul, my mother has been coloring for 50 something years. I am her eldest daughter. And I was very upset that I just found out 2 years ago.
Mm,
How does she keep that secret from a teenager?
right.
That's my point. Nobody
Yeah.
has to know that this is your habit. No, in my line of work, I talk to women who develop pill habits, alcohol habits that nobody knew about. You know what I mean? But the effects showed up on their job, right? This is the same thing, but positive. You start coloring at home, the effects are going to show up on your job in your improved resilience, or your greater resilience, in your emotional intelligence, in your creative collaboration with your team and colleagues. This is not just me speaking just to be speaking. These are things that have been studied by UCLA's Stress Relief Institute, as well as neuroscientists around the world, mental health professionals around the world. When you have so many people who are telling you the same thing, that this is not just enjoyable, but it is therapy for you, why wouldn't you take up the cheapest therapy that you could get that will not hurt you?
That was rich. Thank you so much. My gosh, I have so many notes. I got my page full of notes here.
I have to put my office back there and pulled out books from everywhere.
Oh, this has been so rich, Diva. My God, my
I want
friend.
to thank you. I'm going to take this moment. I see we're running out of time, but I want to take this moment and to really give you your flowers today, Miss Leslie. I've known you for now about 6 years,
Yep.
and you are always about relationships and empowering the people around you. By inviting me here today based on a question and a comment on Facebook, you may have opened up a world, a whole new world, to sisters who look like us. And you are always, every time I'm invited to your show, it's always with the intention on being impactful to our community. And I have inspired to be right in your footsteps for the past 5 years, and to see where you are now and what you're still doing. I really do commend you and give you your flowers, girl. You are a light to those of us out here in the darkness. And I really do appreciate the anointing that you have on your life and the way you share that with us. And I mean that sincerely. Thank you for allowing me to share your platform today to be the same impact. I appreciate you so much.
Humbly received and humbly say thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Um, as we move in these circles, as we move out here in this world, one of the things, you use the word impact, and one of the words that I stand on is just that word impact, is how my life can be an impact, influence, inspiration to other women. Because I know that the things that I experience, the things that I've gone through over a period of time, I learned that I can't be the only one. And as we're talking about coloring books, what I love is as you've shared, it's been something that you had secretly, your mom had secretly, is that okay, if you want to start this habit secretly, that's fine.
Mhm.
But take this up and do something for self-love for yourself. So yeah, humbly thank you for joining. And we're definitely going to be doing a holiday show. We're going
Yes.
to come back and let you know when it is. And like I said, DM Diva or DM me. I'll get the information to her. Go ahead and leave any comments you
I'm
have.
on Pinterest too, honey. Go over
Yeah,
to Pinterest, honey. Look over to Pinterest and look at some of the artwork I've put there. I'm nobody's artist, but I got kind of proud of my progress too.
okay, so
I
you
put,
on Pinterest?
yes,
Okay.
girl, I'm on Pinterest too.
We
Um,
will go ahead and speaking of that, as we get ready to close out, please tell the people where all they can find you. Please do.
okay, you can find me on Pinterest. I do believe I'm still on there as your favorite corporate auntie. Um, I have two handles, your favorite corporate auntie and grad school grandma. I'm moving back toward grad school grandma. You can find me on Pinterest. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, my favorite, TikTok for another couple weeks. But I will be moving over to YouTube. I know I've been saying that. I'll be moving over to YouTube very shortly. I do a lifestyle kind of blog where I talk about anything that my little 60-year-old heart can think of that I think might improve someone's life. And I just invite you all to ask me the questions because someone answered them for me and I'm happy to answer for you.
Always giving, always giving. Love it. Giving and serving. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us today. For those that came in and joined live, if you left any comments, for some reason I can't see any comments here on StreamYard. So maybe I can go back and see comments. But thank you all for joining us today on this magical Monday. And for those that are going to come back and watch the replay, just do #replay and leave any comments so that we can come back and answer you. So as you know, on Mosaic Sparks, we have a segment every Monday. Join us next Monday or any day during the week that you can join us. But we'd love to have you. So as we shared today, as we're talking about why color outside the lines, we'll be coming back for a holiday special. So stay tuned and have an incredible rest of your week. Bye for now.
Bye bye.